give you a brief introduction. I will give you a brief introduction to Horizon Europe. It's essential to know what Horizon Europe is all about before actually applying to the scheme, because that is the main point of the scheme. An introduction to NET2HE Scheme, the funding rate, how to submit an application and the reporting process, state aid and non-state aid, past brokerage events examples for you to get an idea, a live demo on how to access the documents. So we will look into our website, our services, and finally a Q&A session to answer any pertinent questions you might have. So Horizon Europe, this will be very brief. If you would like to learn more about Horizon Europe, you can either organize a meeting with us, or else you can even have a look at our previously recorded webinars on YouTube. Horizon Europe is the biggest EU funding program for research and innovation. It targets many areas and it's split mainly into 3 pillars. So we have pillar 1, which is excellent science, which is mainly focusing on the research and career. Pillar 2, which are the global challenges. And here we have the majority of the budget is within pillar 2, where we tackle challenges or clusters on health, on culture, creativity and inclusive society, on civil security for society, on digital industry and space, on climate, energy and mobility, and on food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture and environment. And here is where my expertise is within the pillar 2, cluster 2, 5 and 6. Then we have pillar 3, innovative Europe, where we really try to target the industry here. So we do that through the EIC, the EIE, and the EIT, which are the European Innovation Council, European Innovation Ecosystems, and European Institute of Innovation and Technology. Further down, we have the widening participation and strengthening the European research area. Here, this is why is it not part of the pillars and it's horizontal? Because it's cross-cutting, and there are elements of widening within each pillar. So mainly the widening participation is there to assist countries that do not perform as well to catch up with the big players. There are specific schemes which can be found under this pillar to target that. I think there's a bit of background noise. I'm not sure if someone is not muted. I think it's fine. So this is the logo for NET2HE Scheme, and essentially it describes everything that NET2HE Scheme is all about. So you have people traveling across the world to attend brokerage events and network with each other. So this is an introduction. So what is NET2HE Scheme? It's offering financial support, travel and subsistence to attend Horizon Europe networking and brokerage events held overseas. Why? The network will increase uptake in Horizon Europe proposal submissions, and for you to have the opportunity to meet with the big players out there and team up and submit proposals together. Individuals representing Maltese organizations. So it's any type of organization as long as it is registered in Malta. This scheme is constantly open. However, the last application will be accepted on the 15th of November 2022. Trips may be completed up to the 28th of February 2023. Essentially, what this means is if there is an event in January next year, you can submit the application on the 15th of November, and it's fine if you attend the brokerage event in January. There's just a 6-month limit, so you can think 6 months in advance to submit your application. Where to and from member states and associated countries. So this is not open to third countries. You can attend brokerage events or networking events in member states or associated countries. The associated countries list can be easily found on Google. You can type Horizon Europe associated countries and you can see a list will come up and you will see which are the associated countries. Something important to know that admission or entrance tickets will not be funded. We will fund travel and subsistence. Now, normally the events that are related to Horizon Europe don't come with a fee, since they're organized by the Commission or NCP networks. So there might be times where, yes, there would be a fee, but as a general rule, the events organized by the Commission do not come at a cost. Unfortunately, if they do come at a cost, we can only fund your travel and subsistence. Some other important points. So the Info Days organized by the European Commission will also be taken into consideration. So especially something like the RNI Days. This year, the RNI Days will be held online, but we don't know if in the future these will be held in a physical format. So those would be considered. The grant is limited to one representative per event per organization. However, the entity may benefit from multiple grants for different events. So it's only one representative per event per organization. It's quite clear in the rules. Obviously, the general rule later in incomplete applications will not be taken into consideration. Please be timely, and applications must be sent at least 15 working days before the event date. So make sure you hand your application at least 15 working days. Obviously, we need to process your application, you need to see if you comply with the eligibility rules, and as well you need to proceed with booking and organizing your trip. So 15 working days, it's really the ultimate. Try not to exceed 15 working days before the start of the event date. It is your responsibility to abide by the COVID-19 rules of different countries, and it is your responsibility to book the flights and accommodation. Again, the fund will also cover travel insurance. So if there are any cancellation with regards to COVID-19, make sure you try to get compensated from the insurance. The funding. So the flights for the travel-related events will be covered to and from. This includes taxes. This also includes the travel insurance, as stated before. There is a capping, so no more than €750 for both EU member states and associated countries. So the travel insurance, VAT and taxes, and the flight ticket should not exceed €750. If they do exceed, we can only fund up to €750. Then you have to find another means of financing to top up the rest of the ticket. And the tickets should be an economy class ticket. Subsistence, an allowance of €150 flat rate per night. This will reflect the duration of the event and the number of nights required. And the maximum amount of days for the same brokerage event should be 5 days. So essentially, we will cover up to 5 days of the networking or brokerage event. The submission process. So the application form for Horizon Europe Networking Support Scheme, the application will be provided by MCST, and it is on our website. I have listed the link down here, and we will also have a small live demo session for you to see how you can access this application. Within the application, you will fill up everything. So within the application, you will have some general information about yourself, which topics you actually would like to apply to. So you would have identified some topics within the Horizon Europe Work Program. You'd say, I would like to find partners to apply for topic X, Y, and Z. Within the application form, you have a partner search, which is just a pager. Many of you have contacted us and you know how a partner search looks like. So you have to fill in that. This is all within the application form. And you have to attach an agenda of the event. It cannot exceed more than 5 days. If it does exceed more than 5 days, then you have to seek alternative funding. And recommended, if you are aware that there will be certain players attending, certain important and influential people within your field of interest, it would be ideal if you write a proof of planning of at least 3 meetings. So you say, listen, I would like to speak to this guy, and this woman, this person. So it would be ideal if you could at least tell us whom you would like to speak to. But if it's an event where you don't know exactly who will be attending, it's fine if you skip that one out. Access all documents there, and applications should be sent electronically to the following email address. So it's nethorizon.mcst@gov.mt. And copy myself, tamara.b.chkempri@gov.mt. and write Networking 2022 as a subject heading. The funding, so reporting documents. The scheme will reimburse you. So first, you hand in your application, we approve of your travel, and upon your return, you have to fill in a short travel report. The template is available on the MCST website, the boarding passes, and the air ticket and travel insurance, including their receipts. We will not ask for any receipts for your accommodation, for your food, any trains you took, or any buses, or etc. This will be covered by the subsistence flat rate, which is €150 per night. Again, the reporting documents should be sent electronically to the same email address, and copy myself. You have a deadline, so once you come back from your brokerage event, you have to send us the documents not later than 1 month after the event. If you do not send them later than a month, we can withhold any reimbursement. So please make sure you abide by the deadlines. Again, applicants will receive a reimbursement upon the receipt of the reporting documents, which are essentially those three. This is an example. So let's say there's a brokerage event on the 2nd of December in Brussels for the upcoming Cluster 3 calls. The event is from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You will have to find a flight that is doable and feasible for you and that it makes sense. Obviously, this is just an example. Flights, change from time to time, but this is simply for the sake of the example. And on the 2nd of December, you realize that there's a flight at almost leaving at 19:55, so at 5 to 8. And for you, it's feasible to go from the brokerage event to the airport. And you say, okay, this would be feasible. There is a green, very good. Why? Because the total is €105. It's an economy class ticket, and it does not exceed the 750 rate. So the flight, there it is, it's settled. And again, subsistence allowance. You will receive €150 since it's a one-day brokerage event. Again, we will not ask for any receipts of food or accommodation, etc. This subsistence allowance will always reflect the agenda, and each application will be reviewed case by case, and always provide proper justification in your application. Some other rules for participation: state aid and non-state aid. So when you are non-state aid, what does this mean? It means you are a public research and knowledge dissemination organization whose main activities are education, which is not offered for remuneration, and independent research whose results are widely disseminated on a non-discriminatory basis. Or else you're a public entity that does not offer goods or services on a market for remuneration. So when you are non-state aid, on our website, click on the rules for participation of non-state aid organizations. If you are a state aid, here the scheme will provide assistance to undertakings that carry out an economic activity. So make sure you look at the rules for participation for state aid if you think that you fall within state aid rules. There's also a state aid form that you need to fill up if you fall under the state aid rules. If you are not you are non-state aid, you do not need to have a look at this. But if you are, this is simply a snippet of the state aid form. You have to declare if you received any other forms of funding from the government or any other form of state aid. This could be grants, loans, or guarantees at favorable rates, tax benefits, etc. So make sure that within 3 fiscal years, you did not exceed €200,000. If you did exceed, then unfortunately, you would not comply with the state aid rules. Some practical examples. So you are searching for networking and brokerage events. You would really like to apply for this Horizon Europe call. Unfortunately, you are missing a couple of partners, or you would like to tap into a consortium and you would like to see who's out there, some like-minded people you would really like to network. And here are some past networking and brokerage events related to Horizon. So due to COVID, there was kind of a stop. There was a stop in traveling. There was a pause in events. So I could mainly get examples from Horizon 2020. So the scheme has opened now, but these are some events that would be eligible for funding if the scheme was open during that time. So an information day on Horizon 2020. So the agenda has to say that there is a Horizon Europe element in it, that the event is really dedicated for Horizon Europe, or that there will be brokerage events related to Horizon Europe. Or an info day organized by the Commission, which is on Horizon Europe related ones. So these are 3 practical examples that if you had to present them to me, I would say that yes, you are eligible to attend. So this one is basically saying plain and simple information and networking days on Horizon 2020 SC5 climate action. That would be an eligible event. It's in Brussels. The other one is in Germany. So it's an international brokerage event, a conference on social innovation and social economic transformation. This will have a brokerage element in it, and it's speaking about Societal Challenge 6, Europe in a Changing World. It's organized as well by an NCP network, which in the past was called NET2HE Society. And again, the RNI days, which were held in Brussels in 2019. These past years, they were held online, but who knows, we might see another physical RNI days in the future. We have not received any information about the next RNI days, so 2023, but this year they will be held online, so they are quite accessible. The plus side to it is that they are accessible. You can Google RNI Days 2022 and you could register or attend. But yes, so something like this, it would be eligible for the for applying to our scheme. So this will be just a short live demo on our MCST website. So here you will see how to access these documents, and we will have a quick look at the application form. So Malta Council for Science and Technology. So you will go on mcst.gov.mt. I hope that you can still see my screen. If someone can confirm, it would be great.
Yes, Tamara.
Yes, confirmed.
So
yes, we can see it.
Great, thank you. So either you go on funding opportunities and you click on Horizon Europe Networking Support Scheme. You can also see some other calls that MCST has open at the moment. Here are some general information, mainly what we spoke about today. And here are all the documents you need. So it includes the travel reports, the state aid declaration. So here you have the NET2HE application form. Let's have a look at that. You simply click on that and open it. It's a Word document, so easily editable as well. So let's open them. So this is the application form. Let me reshare my screen. So we went on the website and we downloaded the application form. This is how it looks. Just an introduction, reminding you of the rules, but obviously there's a specific document for the rules, but there's a general introduction at the first page. So the application is not heavy. We really want you to we really want to assist you in networking, etc. So we are expecting that you fill in applicants, your details, who are you representing, if maybe you are an organization that has departments, for example, your university or research institution, you indicate the department, details of the networking brokerage event. So you type the event title, whom is it organized by, the location and the dates. Some Horizon Europe proposal related information. So have you ever participated in any Horizon Europe or Horizon 2020 projects? Have you been a partner? Maybe we can indicate your qualifications or expertise that would qualify you to participate in Horizon Europe projects. Some basic questions. Again, here is a reminder of the state aid regulations. So you have to provide a justification under which rules you fall under. Again, there was a clarification on what is non-state aid and state aid in our previous slides. The PowerPoints and the recording will be shared afterwards as well, so do not hesitate, we will share them afterwards. And the declaration, so here you basically see if you abide by the de minimis, etc. And name and surname of person giving authorization, email address, and the signature. Some further rules such as double funding, accumulation of aid where state aid rules apply. So here this is essentially referring if you surpass the 200,000 euro. The double funding is that you're not going to get funding for the same thing from another resource, so that is not allowed. Some transparency, and again here just a simple check, I agree, I agree, I agree. So you confirm that the information is given on this form is accurate. I accept and confirm that the personal data and activities meetings information can be passed on to CST. I confirm that I have attached a full agenda. I confirm that I have attached a partner search, and I confirm that there is no double financing through other schemes. Some signatures, and here is where you attach your agenda. Some other additional documents. So if you're attending a brokerage event, if you can provide us with at least 3 different partners that you intend to network with, it's good. If you have no idea who's going to attend the event, it's fine as well. This is simply recommended. Here we have the non-state aid. Again, some signatures and the partner search form. So the partner search form is within the application as stated before. So the 3 things you need to have is the application, the agenda, and as well the partner search form, which is attached here. So the title of the Horizon Europe call you're interested in, description of your entity, name and email, and summary of the partner search. For example, your department is studying biodiversity and plant viruses, and you are looking for organizations working closely with farmers to pilot our research. So this is a summary of the partner search. Why are you attending this brokerage event as well? So that's it in terms of application. It's 15 pages long, but please make sure you fill in the correct parts. There are parts of it which remind you about the eligibility rules as well. So essentially, it's a bit shorter than that. Quite straightforward. And basically, that's it with regards to the application. Then you have to send it by email. So let me reshare my screen to the MCST website. So where was it? There we go. So we are back on the MCST website. And here we have the rules for participation for non-state aid and the rules for participation for state aid. Once you return, you have a travel report. So you download that and you hand it to us. So I will reshare the travel report now. So this is the travel report. Some general information. So the name of the event you attended, the purpose of the meeting, the participants, the entity represented, who is writing the report, the date of the event, the location, and by whom it was organized. So there are some elements which are repeated here at the application stage. Then provide a short summary of the networking event or info day, what was happening within this event. Provide a list of potential partners or consortia met during the networking info day. There's a lot of business cards exchanging there, so it would be great if you can tell us who did you meet. And it would really make us happy if you met some very important people that work within your area and that you would potentially collaborate in the future. And here you attach the air tickets, the boarding passes, the travel insurance. And in terms of reporting, that's it. So basically just a short summary, who did you meet, and you attach the boarding passes, etc. We'll go back to the presentation. So if you have any questions, I see 3 messages. Okay, let's get to the questions. Hi, I am in the, okay. To book for flights and accommodation, do we need to go through our institution's procurement system? And then our institutions would be reimbursed. So this is quite an internal question. If you are representing a research organization, you have to see how your normal funding procedure works. But I think this is a question you have to ask your own department. We would simply reimburse either the applicant or the institution. So I think the best way to answer this question is to check internally, and then we can have a separate discussion on this, Lorna.
Okay, thanks, because I wasn't sure, like since we are representing the institution, like can we directly go then to the institution? So probably even in terms of subsistence, even though we have our own internal rules, we know that it's 150 capping, but then if there are probably some, like the subsistence, if there is the 150 capping, is it always 150? Or like if there are, I don't know, any food during the events, would that be reduced?
It's always 150.
It's always 150 flat rate. So we go through our procurement, show them the regulations, and then
exactly.
Okay, and then they can be reimbursed accordingly. Okay, thanks a lot, Tamara. Thank you.
Thank you. So, do we have any other questions? Please feel free to raise your hand, type in the chat box.
Hi, it's Fabian from NET2HE.
Hi.
Hi, I would like to ask. Usually, I know of the event called the European Week for Regions and Cities.
Okay.
Does that fall within these kind of events? It's a networking event for us, region.
So, in that case, you need to send me the agenda. You can answer the question yourself. If the agenda clearly states that there is a Horizon Europe initiative that will be in the agenda and that there is an element of networking and brokerage event, it would be eligible. But if it simply doesn't state that there would be nothing related to Horizon Europe, then unfortunately you would not be.
Okay.
If you tell me the agenda, I could give you a clear answer.
Because normally the agenda is out in, I think, August, September, and it's like you have to choose. It's a lot of workshops and lots of meetings, and you have to choose one. You have to choose a number of them.
Okay.
So I recall there was, I think, Horizon 2020 involved in the past, but I'm not sure. And okay, I will check then.
Agenda, yes. Send me the agenda on the emails indicated.
Okay.
I will have a look at them and I will tell you if you're eligible for because the scheme it's quite open and there's no exactly one straight road for it. So we have to see it case by case.
And if you can apply. I mean, you have a deadline to apply, or if for example the event is in September, coming September.
So the deadline, there is no specific deadline, but you need to hand in your application at least 15 working days before the event.
Before the event, okay.
15 working days. So this will give us time to review your application, confirm that you're eligible, and obviously for you to book your things.
Okay then. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. So I think that we have answered our questions. Obviously, feel free to email me and email the Net Horizon email and copy myself so that we keep a receipt of all the questions. And I'm going to proceed with the last part of the presentation. So we are, let me share, I think it's not sharing anymore. So we are a team of 6. We all cover different areas, so please feel free to get in touch if you have any queries on any part of the Horizon Europe program, which I presented a bit during the first few slides. Everyone covers an area, but we have a no wrong door approach. So if you contact any one of us, we'll direct you in the right direction. And we answer queries. We help you in finding partners. We also have several support schemes. We're here we can even do pre-proposal checks. So before you submit a proposal, we can give you some feedback on the proposal. Obviously, all types of information that you send to us is always confidential, including the applications. So do not be scared to share who you did what network with. We will not share this information outside, or we will not share those details. I think that's it from my end. Please keep in touch. So these are the links on our Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, MCST website, and other funding opportunities. Obviously, we share events that are related to Horizon Europe on our social media as well. So really keep in touch, and also our newsletter. So really keep up to date, like our pages, so that you would know exactly what's coming up, the new events. I'm aware that towards the end of this year and beginning of January, there will be some events happening because the new work programs will be launched. So that would be some positive news for everyone. We are finally traveling again, and really hope that this will result in many wonderful collaborations across Europe. So thank you very much for your attention. Please feel free to fill in our feedback form. We would greatly appreciate it if you answer just 5 questions so that we can improve our sessions in the future. Thank you.